Morning, folks. Somebody asked me just to talk quickly about a mitre plane and a block plane. I've talked about mitre planes forevermore. As far as I'm aware, block planes are small metal planes with low angled cutters, and in the dictionary of tools it says between about 12 and 18 degrees, very low. And you hold them one-handed, so you wouldn't be truing up a butcher's block with one of them because you need two hands. And there is a special plane for doing butcher's blocks, a Stanley product, and it's over here in the book. It's a number 64. They did a 62 and a 64. Now, the 62 is a much better plane than the 64 for cabinet work, adjustable front and everything else, rosewood. And they did this cheaper version, no adjustment on the front of the mouth, cheaper handles. But this is a rare plane, much rarer than that one. And it says here that the 62 with its 12 degree cutting angle, this plane is used to plane cross and end grain hardwoods where more power is required. So you use two hands and you're doing hardwoods, end grain and that. This one, you need a lot of power to clean up a butcher's block. You need a two-handed plane. And it says here they had two cutters, and this serrated cutter is nearly always missing. And it states at this time, when the book was published, the cutter alone can bring up to $250 to $500 if it's just unused. That's just the cutting iron. So they are obviously a rare item. Now a mitre plane is used for end grain. This is a Holtzaffel, the latest one I acquired. Extremely fine mouth, beautiful plane. But they also plane length of the grain, across the grain, and especially end grain. Beautiful plane. Oh, and again, this is somebody sent me this through the post. What's it called?
Manzanita.
Manzanita, and I've planed the face up here, which is all interlocked with one of my small block planes, mitre planes. Nothing to do with block planes. This fellow that answered this question, he was talking about a Dutch plane, I think. Sarah says no. Sarah's asked me to restate the difference between a block plane and a mitre plane. A block plane you would use one-handed for doing small work. A mitre plane you would use two-handed for doing heavier work, especially difficult timbers and especially end grain. A block plane will plane end grain, but you really need more pressure on end grain. I would certainly use a mitre plane. Incidentally, somebody got in touch with me recently. I've talked about this elsewhere. They used mitre planes in organ making. They used to use them on the the pipes, which are metal. I don't know, be a light metal.
Lead.
No, Sarah says lead. They're not lead. Might have lead in them. They'll be a light metal anyway, an alloy. And they use whoever got in touch with me in the workshop. They've got about 6 old English mitre planes. And incidentally, this is an exact copy. Well, it's not a copy, it's the real thing. This is how mitre planes look. Block planes are completely different. You know, they're dovetailed normally, bent round, dovetailed at the front, very fine mouth. Look at the mouth on that, exceptional. And they were the first metal planes made in Britain. Block planes came later. And I don't think there's such a thing as a wooden block plane. People say it's a block plane. I know in some of the early catalogues, probably Moxon, that there's a striped plane and underneath it's got block. But it's certainly not in my lifetime where block planes were talked about in wood. I don't think there are any. But anyway, I might be wrong on that. But a lot of people just say, oh, it's a block plane.